So, SCR or silicon controlled rectifier is a semi-controlled bipolar unidirectional minority charge carrier device, and it is a latching device. So, five types of characteristics are there which describes SCR. So, one by one we will discuss why it is semi-controlled, why it is bipolar unidirectional minority charge carrier device, and why it is latching device. So this is the construction of SCR. You can see that P1, N1, P2, N2. Here N1 is a layer which is lightly doped. So the width of the N1 layer is more. That means lightly doped can withstand high amount of voltage. So it is picturized in this way. Okay. Now we can see that this is the anode of a SCR, of an SCR. This is cathode. Anode and cathode is there, and one gate terminal is there. That is, through the gate terminal, gate current can be applied. Now the load and the source is connected between anode and cathode. So its characteristics we will discuss about SCR and how the SCR works we will slowly discuss. Okay. And it has the static characteristics, static VI characteristics, and dynamic characteristics. Dynamic characteristics, that is T on and T off. That is, it is a switch on and switch off. Thyristor SCR is used as a switch. So its turn on and turn off characteristics we will discuss, and another characteristic is gate characteristics. Okay, so this is our characteristics, SCR characteristics. So let us discuss about the SCR working, how the SCR will be switched on, and how the conduction process happens. Okay, so these characteristics, in these characteristics we can see that there are different stages from 0 to this B point, that is from A to B. This is the forward blocking or forward breakover voltage is VFB. This is the forward blocking state from A to B. Okay, and this is the braking condition VFB, and it comes to after having this voltage VFB, it comes to conduction. So this portion, that is from C to D, this is the forward voltage drop, or this is the conduction state. So this is our conduction state of thyristor. Now in the reverse condition also, so this will happen during the on state, that is forward conduction. Now for the reverse conduction also, there is a reverse blocking state, and this is also a reverse block breakover voltage, and from that the after breakover voltage it comes to this conduction. Okay, so first of all, during forward bias condition, during forward bias condition, the positive terminal is connected to P1 and negative terminal is connected to N2. Okay, so during forward bias condition, the holes of P1 will enter into N1 like power diodes. Okay, so conduction state is going to establish, but immediately it won't happen. it takes some time. And so what is happening here? The positive terminal is connected to P1 and negative terminal is connected to N2. Therefore, in the forward biased condition, junction J1, you can see that the junction J1, that is this between P1 and N1, this is the junction J1. This is J1, junction J1. So J1 is forward biased and junction J2 is reverse biased and J3 is forward biased. Okay, so they are forward biased condition means the junction J1 and J3 is forward biased. Then the two junction, that is J1 and J3, will be erased when they comes to conduction. Then the high voltage will appear across N1 and P2. Now what will happen? N1 and P2 has junction J2. N1 is lightly doped. So entire high voltage appears across J2 junction. This J2 is blocking the entire positive voltage. Though the device is passing a leakage current from P1, N1, P2, N2. Here we are, and that leakage current is actually this current. That is that we have discussed. So this is our, that leakage current is this. So from A to B, this current, that is from this one, is the leakage current. This one to this one. This is the leakage current. Okay. So this is our forward blocking state or forward blocking state. Okay. So here we are taking, now here we are taking supply voltage as varying supply voltage. Okay. Variable supply voltage. That is, initially it was 5 volts. Okay. Then voltage is changed to 10 volts. Then also there is no change. That is, after that supply is increased to 15 volt, then also output continues to be the same value. After that, when the supply is increased to 16 to 18 volt, then immediately the device starts conducting. That is, here you can see in this picture, here it is starting from 5 volt, it is coming up and up. There's a slow leakage current is there, so forward blocking state is continuing continuously. This is the forward breakover voltage. Suppose it is 16 to 18 voltage, where the device comes to conduction immediately. Okay. The device starts conducting, then here the stress on the J2 junction is increased. Now J2 can withstand a certain value or a rated value. Beyond that, it cannot withstand that value of voltage. Okay, its rated stress is 15 volt. So the junction J2 is also erased. Okay, that is, that junction J2 is erased at voltage VFB or forward breakover voltage. Okay. So now the gate current is not connected. Here the gate current is not connected. Now the entire current is flowing from anode to cathode and it will act like a closed switch. Okay. Okay, since it is closed switch, the voltage it will offer is very less and remain 15.5 volt will appear across the load, and the 16 volt is called forward breakover voltage. At that point the junction is breaking. So during forward bias condition, J1 J2 was forward biased, and J2 was reverse biased. Now during point A to B is called forward blocking state, and point C to D is called conduction state. Now B to C is negative resistance region. In case of we get negative characteristic region of the curve. Now in this case of curve, you can see that there are several lines. Can you observe this? There are several lines. So these, what are the indication? What are the indication of these lines? These are the different lines. Why these lines are given? Till now, what we have stated that how SCR gets on, or it starts conducting without gate current. But if we apply gate current, it will start conducting before the forward breakover voltage, and these are the different gate currents. See, IG1, IG2, IG3. This is the way the gate currents are applied. With the gate current, the blocking state will be reduced. Okay. So let us discuss about the transistor, thyristor, which can be visualized as the combination of two transistors attached face to face. Now, what is the transistor here? In this case, this is the PNPN junctions. Now, we can divide the thyristor as the portion of it. Suppose PNP. From the upper side it is PNP, and from the bottom side it is NPN. So that thyristor can be assumed as the combination of two transistors. Okay, so this is the combination, and we can connect in this way. This is called Darlington pair that we have already discussed. So what is happening here? This is the PNP junction transistor, this is the NPN transistor, and they are connected in this way. It looks like SCR kept in a big box which has anode, cathode and gate. This is the Darlington pair. Now here you can see in this picture, what we can say, that in this case, see, the current is coming out from IA1, IA, and the for the fast transistor it is the anode current IA, and the base current is IB1, and the for the second transistor it is the IC2, IB2, and another is IE2. Okay, so these are the three currents. So here from this combination, what we can see, base current of first transistor is going to the collector of the second transistor. So IB1 equal to IC2. Now IE is actually the emitter current. Emitter current is equal to IB2 plus IC2. So IE or IE2 is equal to emitter current, base current plus collector current. So IB2 plus IC2. Now what is collector current? IC1 equal to beta 1 IB1 plus ICB1. ICBO1. Okay, ICBO1 is the leakage current. So, and similarly IC2 equal to beta 2 IB2 plus ICBO2. IB2 is this current. IB2 is equal to IC1 plus IG. From this figure, you can see that IC1 plus IG is equal to IB2. Okay. Now, IC2 equal to alpha 2, IC1 equal to alpha 1 IE1 plus ICBO1 and IC2 equal to alpha 2 IE2 ICBO2. Now, if I add those two current, collector current IC1 plus IC2, IC1 plus IC2, then we will get the above value. If I put, then alpha 1 IE1 plus alpha 2 IE2 plus ICO, and IC1 plus IB1 equal to IE1, and IE1, as we have stated that the anode current of the thyristor IA, so it can be written as IA. Now IC1 plus IB1, so IC1 plus IB1, IC1 plus IB1 equal to what? IE1. You can see from this, that is the emitter current or anode current, which is starting from here, and for the first transistor it is IE1 equal to IC1 plus IB1, that is equal to IE1 equal to alpha 1 IE1 plus alpha 2 IE2. So instead of alpha 2 IE2, we can write here, this is IE, not only IE, it is IE2 equal to IB2 plus IC2. So that thing I can place here, and plus ICO. So IC1 plus IB1 equal to IE1, and now IE1 equal to IA. So we can write it as IA equal to alpha 1 IA plus alpha 2 into IC1 plus IG. As I have mentioned, IC1 plus IG is IB2 plus IB1 plus ICO. So we can write as alpha 1 IA plus alpha 2 IC1 plus IB1 equal to, again, IC1 plus IB1 equal to IE1, that is equal to IA. So we can write it as IA. So IA plus IG into alpha 2 plus ICO. So from that we can get IA, the anode current, is equal to alpha 2 IG plus ICO by 1 minus alpha 1 plus alpha 2. This is the formula for anode current. If I derive it from this, we can get IA, the anode current, equal to alpha 2 IG plus ICO. You can do it by your own hand and get this result. Only the thing what is to be corrected, that is here IE will be IE2 equal to IB2 plus IC2 according to this. Okay, so this is the analysis portion of anode current. So initially that no current is flowing in the circuit. If Ig is increased, IC1 is equal to 0. Collector current equal to 0 initially. Okay. Then Ig equal to IB2. So Ig equal to IB2. Initially, assume that no current is flowing in the circuit. Okay. Now, if Ig, that is the gate current, if increased, then what will happen? If gate current is increased, then initially IC1 is 0. So gate current is the base current of the second transistor, and if Ig increases, IB2 also increases. Now IC equal to beta 2 IB2. If IB2 increases, if IB2 increases, then IC2 will also increase. IC2 now is equal to IB1. So IB1 will also increase. Now IC1 is equal to beta 1 IB1. IB1 equal to beta 2 IB2. So it will be equal to beta 2 beta 1 IB2, IC1 equal to. So if IB1 increases, IC1 also increases. So assume the gate current is 1 milliampere and beta 1 10. If IC2 equal to 10 milliampere, IB1 equal to 10 milliampere. Since IC2 equal to IB1, so IC1 will be then 100. Since beta equal to 10 and IB1 is equal to 10, so IC1 will be equal to 10 into 10 milliampere. So IC1 equal to 100 milliampere, IB2 equal to 101 milliampere. Then IC2 equal to 100, 1000. If IB2 equal to 101 milliampere, if IB2 equal to 101 milliampere, then IC2 equal to 1010 milliampere. That is equal to IB1. Okay. Now IC1 equal to 10,100 milliampere. So this way it is continuously increasing. Okay. So I1 equal to IB1 plus IC1. In the first iteration, IA1 equal to 110 milliampere. In the second iteration, you can see it is increasing continuously. So third iteration, it will be much higher. This continuous process keep on increasing and increasing anode current. After sometimes gate current is removed. When to remove gate current? If anode to cathode conduction is on, Ig is removed at time. Provided in data sheet, that can be provided in data sheet. Okay, the conduction is happening. It is minimum anode current required to maintain device into conduction state even though the gate pulse is removed. This current is called latching current. Okay. So what it is stated that if we continuously increase the value, the iteratively this will go on increasing. Okay. So The process of conduction is cumulative or regenerative process. Actually, it is a positive feedback device. So positive feedback device, we have studied in control circuit that positive feedback device example is oscillator. In control system, we have used negative feedback device. The reason behind is if any noise enter into the system, it may be nullified. But in regenerative device, this is a regenerative device. This SCR is a regenerative device. The noise is enhancing. Okay, so this device is called latching device or SCR. Okay, so why SCR is latching? Because it is a regenerative device. That is, any noise if they are present, then it will be cumulative. The process of conduction will be cumulative. Okay. So what is latching current? Latching current is the minimum anode current required to maintain the device still in conduction even though if we remove the gate current. That anode current is called latching current. Holding current is what? It is the minimum anode current below which the device is going to be turned off. That current is called holding current. Okay, so this is the reason why it is called the latching device. Now we will discuss about the triggering methods. There are several triggering methods. Triggering means how to switch on the device. That is called triggering. There are several types of triggering methods present for SCR. One is voltage triggering method, that is forward breakover voltage, that we have already stated in this case, that is after continuous application of anode to cathode voltage, and after a certain time, after certain voltage, after forward breakover voltage, it comes to conduction, it starts conducting. But the thing is, there is a chance to damage the device. Okay, so triggering methods are different types of triggering methods present. One is voltage triggering methods that we have already discussed. That is after a certain voltage, that is forward breakover voltage, it will start conducting. But if forward breakover voltage up to that forward breakover voltage, if we continue conduction, it may have the chances to damage the device. Mm, to So forward recover voltage conduction type triggering is generally avoided. Mainly most popular method is gate triggering method. Gate triggering method, here in the forward blocking state, J1, J3 are forward bias, J2 is blocking high voltages, and you know IA, the anode current, is equal to alpha 2 Ig plus ICO by 1 minus alpha 1 plus alpha 2. Ig is the gate current and ICO is the leakage current. Here IA can be increased either by increasing the leakage current ICO, lightly doped N region and heavily doped P region are there in the two sides of the junction J2. P region will come to conduction quickly because it cannot withstand such high current or voltages much longer. Okay, now the switch is closed from gate terminal, then the gate current, now when the switch is closed from the gate terminal, the gate current will enter into the uh, P region. It is observed that charged particles are entering into P layer indirectly. indirectly J2 comes to conduction and it becomes forward biased. Now from the above formula, with the increase of gate current, anode current will also increase. So IA is also controlled by the gate current. This is the reason SCR is also known as current controlled device. So here the gate current is controlling the conduction, so it is also known as current controlled device. So heavily doped p region needs small amount of gate current to come to conduction. So entire IA to IK current of gate entire IA to IK current going to flow. Okay, so gate triggering method is the most popular method out of all the triggering methods. Now Ig, the gate current, is given for a short duration. In the SCR, gate to cathode, it is heavily doped, so it is not required to produce continuous charge to the device. A short pulse is enough to start conduction. So continuous energy production will be lost for the system. So efficiency will be less. So we provide pulses. Once the device comes to latching state, immediately gate pulses are stopped. Okay, so this is the process. Now the safe operating region for SCR are the this is the safe operating region. That is the for the first quadrant. The safe operating region is for SCR during forward biased conduction. J2 is blocking positive polarity voltage. After triggering, device comes to conduction. Anode current flowing from anode to cathode. So positive current is flowing during reverse bias condition. J1, J2 is reverse biased. J1, J3 is reverse biased and J2 is forward biased. With the application of gate pulse, there is a high chance to break the junction J3. So we can bring J3 into conduction. If we keep on increasing the gate current at particular time, the junction J1 comes to conduction. Since gate cathode portion is heavily doped, it can withstand low current only. If we increase Ig, J3 will be heated up and get destroyed. So in reverse bias condition with gate pulse also, it cannot come to conduction. So SCR conduction is only one directional or unidirectional. So SCR is also called semi-controlled switch. So SCR can control only one state. The anode current, it cannot control the other state with the help of gate pulse. So it is also called semi-controlled switch. Okay. So these are the reason why it is called unidirectional and why it is called the semi-controlled switch.